It's the time to get down.
We want men to hear how to make a relationship work under stressful conditions. What would be the one thing?
Leave the woman alone.
What does that mean?
Just leave her alone.
You gotta see, y'all shit is
Leave her
bad.
the heck alone.
See, then it leaves the
Don't
brother
call,
trying to
don't
guess.
text.
See,
Maybe text once
If
in
it's
the morning
that
and
kind,
say,
leave
"Hi,
her
good morning,
alone."
beautiful." And then if she doesn't call you or text you, she needs some time.
Oh, Mario, don't you agree with that, Mario?
no, I'd use that whole. It's a whole different vibe going on in my shit.
Wait a minute. So, now I'm gonna say
The
this.
whole.
Let me say this.
We ain't. Nah, that's. I don't know if that would ever happen over
Wait a minute.
here.
If I
On
hear
North-
Brandy
on
correct,
North Flank.
Brandy is saying I need more space, and Mario, what you're saying is I want to be closer to you.
No, I'm just saying. I just never had that come up as an issue. That's all I can say. It's an interesting concept. I just have never had it come up.
I know
in all my years.
it's-
I mean, everybody. It has to do with the women you pick and how you deal with them.
Yes,
Yeah.
Brandy is unique.
But usually they want to
Very.
come hang
Very
out.
unique.
So usually they want to come hang out. And my whole thing is there's enough space over here.
Right.
So you can segregate here.
Right.
Like I'm in the studio. You don't have to come out here.
So Mario doesn't mind his woman
I'm just saying you
around.
can, but you don't have to come out here. I'm just saying there's another office, right? We had enough room for everybody. Everybody can go to their own corner and be the hell alone.
Now wait a minute. Now Brandy. Now I know this. If Mario was sitting and talking to his mom, and mom was sitting where you at, and she says, "Son, I'm gonna say one word, and I want you to tell me what it means, son." And she says, "Love." And
I say that's you, mama. It ain't none of them been as good as you. That's your fault. I'm single now because none of them lived up to you.
See, now wait a minute.
Can
Brandy.
Mom come on the show? Let's get
That's
Mom
what I
on the
tell
show
her.
so I can talk to her about,
Oh, there you go. Now,
about Mario's bringing
No,
up.
you know
Right?
what it was? It's just a basic thing that everybody who's in a marriage knows that they have to take some shit. It comes with being.
That's right.
It's actually, a marriage is the worst, but any relationship almost you got to take some shit.
Right.
Now, the problem with marriage is people feel like they have a certain amount of ownership.
True.
So the amount of shit they give you is more than the other shit. And since I had problem taking shit in the first goddamn place, it was not going to bode well when you bring the other shit. 'Cause I was going to say, I would go tell you, there's a little line called the shit limit. And you right at that goddamn line. So you better find a way.
Brandy's
you
way
better
beyond.
find a way to chill this or something. Something gonna have to change. See, and I need proof of that shit before I marry you, and then I need a prenup. But I had them to say, "Tell me, Vic." They said, "I'll sign whatever you ask."
Yeah. See, you got that other side.
I'm telling you, I had them. They look you square in the eye. I will sign whatever you ask, whenever you ask.
No, wait a minute.
That's because we all know there's some glitch somewhere
Yes,
that
yes,
we're
the
going
trick.
to change.
All I
Right,
can tell
right.
you, I don't remember no glitches. See, that's the lie they tell you. That's the lie women tell you. They talk about, when you get everything, you're not going to like it. That's some bullshit. You like that shit so much. Like, goddamn, 3 o'clock in the morning in the rain.
You know what?
How you not like that?
But you know what?
Looking fine. When they come in fine and wet. Oh, Lord.
Tell me. All right, let me just say this, and I'm just saying this.
Woo.
Are you guys are saying that the type of people you are is I need conservative, calm. I don't need a lot of excitement. I need a little bit of distance. Let me
That's
stay in
what
my.
Brandy thinks
so
you are.
you don't want an exciting person, an active person. You want a person who can give
See?
you distance, right?
How about I start off a wonderful companion where the energies are so mutually stimulating that you share that commonality of the approach to life, the desire to travel and take in the world together, to share experiences, to grow together without feeling the need for boundaries or definitions.
That would be nice.
That's what I say. Now, can you bring, now the only question, how much money you bring? You ain't bringing no money? See, that's the thing. Okay, but see, maybe I've had them broke before now.
see, what
I had
happened
them
to
broke. I had them broke.
So are we saying that? Are we saying that the years of relationships gone by where neither one of you had money and you just had each other? That's the thing of the past. Can't happen again when you grow older, right?
It can. I just haven't really seen it personally too much. I know it's out there. I'm hopeful.
I mean,
mostly when I go look around at the people I know,
right?
That's a sad ass testimony on marriage. That's what I'm saying. It ain't a whole lot of examples out there. Most people say, "Look at my parents." Hell no, that's the shit I don't want to do. My parents, are you goddamn mind?
Right.
I don't want to do that.
But now, let me just say this. I know that there's feelings where people go like, we got the house, we got the cheese, the money, we got the property, we got security, we got all of that. Man, we're happy. We know that that's a certain level of happiness. But is anything any purer or better than when you both only have each other and nothing else, and you are energized about it, and you just can't help but being around each other? That's the young days. Did you ever experience that, Brandy?
Well, of course, because you think you're all giddy in love.
Right.
And then after that, when it wears down, and then you're like, oh, what happened to my girlfriends?
Oh,
Where's my girls at?
Oh, it wears off.
Yeah.
That's it. So the real takeaway on this is that young love is only for young love. It doesn't happen.
Love changes. People say, at least they say, when they get married the second time, it's for totally different reasons.
Right.
Now, maybe they know something better. I think some things, unfortunately, you can't learn about yourself early. You just can't.
Right.
In other words, the one I tell young folks, your needs versus your wants. Very hard to tell even when you're looking at it, being introspective, meditating. You can't know what your needs are versus your wants are till you live long enough. Because what you usually find out, that's the lesson, is that some things you thought were needs were only wants.
Right.
But some of that shit you thought was only a want, that's a need. You got to have it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And this is stuff you find out about yourself through living. And unfortunately, I don't know any way to learn it about yourself other than living. So to me, everybody's wrong about it.
Go ahead,
You
Brandy.
predict it.
So here's the thing. So the things that I thought I needed, I wanted, and some that I thought I wanted, I needed. So
Sure.
after you learn the lesson, you keep moving on. But what if you, just like women, we always go, oh no, what if I didn't need that, or I didn't want
it
that?
That's what I'm saying. That's what all of us do. And I don't know any way to not do it.
Yeah.
I think everybody does that one.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it's impossible. How could you know at 16, at 19, 22,
Right.
25, 28, 30? You really think you know yourself at 30? Really? Really?
Well, it's funny.
Even the most introspective of us cannot really know ourselves that well at that age.
Right.
I get that. Like Katie, who's divorcing Tom now, you know, she's 33. And when I was 33, that's when I went, what am I doing? I'm not happy. So at least in your 30s is when you come to a point where you look back on your life and you think, am I happy? Am I not happy? Do I have my needs met? Do I have my wants met? Or, you know, what's more important? And so what? I'm not going to be where I need till I'm like 50 something? To know what I need or want.
By the time you figure it out, you can't do nothing about it.
Wait a minute.
This is so fucked up.
That was a great question. She said, so you're telling me I won't know what I really need and want until I get about 50-something.
It's like
I'm
Jane
saying by
Fonda.
the
That's
time
not
you
good.
figure it out,
She said she's figured it out and she's 70. I'm like,
it's
what?
too late.
You know what?
That's the lesson.
You know what? I saw it's just so funny. I did a posting on Facebook. Just, you know, and I was being real about it. And, you know, they had the Essence Festival that apparently is ending. But Beverly Johnson said, women, stop saying there are no good men out there, because that's always been the mantle. And the mantle is always good to say that. Now, it's funny. I can post everything else just to be posting. I said, now, this is the one where no one is going to say. One person called me from New Orleans at Essence Festival, and they actually was backstage with Lisa Ray and all of them, and said, I clicked liked. So it took one person 3,000 miles away to say, yes, that's a true statement. And I sat there, I'm blown away. I said, this is the state of how women may feel about it. I put the post, and I go like, there is no one here coming underneath this agreeing with that statement. So I said, Beverly, you're on an island. It's changed. The game has changed. I think that the issue is, are there good men out there from the women's perspective? And the men have the same thing. Are there good women?
Well, yeah, and there's a little bit more open discussion, and
Right.
and everybody's opinion is going along with no one's happy, right? But that's what it's sort of telling you.
Right.
No one's happy, and everybody's critical.
Right.
And so we have to deal with that. Hopefully, I actually believe that. I try to be an optimist, thinking that it's going to be a better outcome just by having things becoming more transparent and more out in the open. The fact that we're willing to talk about these kind of things and that you can hear opinions, even though we laugh.
Right.
It's still the fact that you could have these kind of opinions that a young person who watched what we just went through, even while laughing,
right.
There's a bunch of educational points in there. And if you walk away with just the whole idea of embracing
right.
the fact that life involves change,
right.
then you have gained a little wisdom.
Okay, but here's another thing that I guess our younger generation needs to understand is when you get married, you're going to be growing with someone and there's going to be change, like you
right.
said. So inevitably, there's always going to be change. So you either need to go in understanding that and accept that.
Right.
Well, that's why people think, that's why the psychologists go, when people say, well, we got married and we changed, he changed or she changed, they go like,
that's right.
See, this is part of it. You're supposed to change because people change.
That's right.
There's no way people are not going to change. And if you really expect for people to go unchanged, and those changes could be good or bad.
Yeah, somebody told me they spent several years with the man who's a physical specimen. That's how she met him. When he was younger, he's a beefcake. Brandy can relate to this as a woman. But then all of a sudden, as she grew mentally, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So the physical is gone now. So the mental, she's transferred over to, now I'm mentally stimulated. He doesn't bring that as much. So now what do I do? And I say, isn't that the part where you're going, it's nothing wrong, it just happens. People, you know what people want to do? They want to indict that the change you have with somebody is wrong when you don't have the same energy and emotion that you had earlier. I don't think it's wrong. I think, where do you include growth and relationship development?
That's the part where I don't have a clear answer or a clear opinion. I would like to believe that with proper education and perspective, we can at least make the chances of people growing older together possible. But I don't know that it's a naturally occurring thing.
Yeah.
It may just be that inherent within human nature to be happy.
That's right.
You may need to shift partners in your life to be happy. I try not to believe that, though. See, I try not to believe that because I think if we were to educate ourselves in certain kind of ways, it allows for the potential of growing older together. But it requires us to take on a different habit set that's fostered behind a lot more communication and realness. I mean, real communication, because that's what happens in relationships, is that you stop communicating.
I know.
And you know that you stop.
That's it. That's it.
And that's the problem. You can't let it go there. But everybody does go there, and the smart ones don't let it and fight that. They say that the couples that do better long term are not the ones who fight less. They just fight and get over it. They don't hold on to it. Like they say, the typical stereotype would be the old couple you see that bitch at each other all the time and then go about their stuff.
And they're reading the paper.
They don't hold on to it. They actually forget about it. They just go on about their shit. Stop fucking me. And then they go, they just go over to the shit.
If you get to that point, then you got to the point where you're okay with fighting and you get it and you just move on with your life. But then when you're younger and you're like, oh my gosh, all we're doing is fighting, I don't want to live my life like this. But if you're 70 and you're used to it and you've gotten that groove.
Well, see, hopefully we're going to try to give you some tools to address the fighting issue, right? In other words, what I'm attempting to say is that there's some better habit sets that can at least be enforced to young folks. We could start talking younger about love and intimacy. That's what we do not do as a society. Let's talk about love and intimacy and roles. And that's the issue. See, we let the kids go blindly into sex. They didn't get love information and intimacy information. We let them go blindly into sex, and they couldn't help it because the hormones are raging. I don't know that we could do it right or better, Vic. I just, at this point in time, I just know we didn't even try.
No, we tried with what we had.
We
didn't abuse it, but I'll say this much. I'll say this. I think everything is an individuality before it is a collective. And when I say that, people are going to trip out. I'm saying this. Treat the best time that you've ever had at the moment you had it, in the relationship you had. And then as you move on and change, become better at what your change is. Most people become restrictive. They say what they're not going to do anymore because of what they had prior. I said, to me, you approaching life that way, to me, I think the doctrine of success is built all around that, socially, economically, and any other alternatives. As soon as you go, I don't do these things anymore, I said, so you're carrying on what you won't do anymore. Why don't you just start at ground zero with what you had that made it work for you at the time it did, for whatever, better or worse. If it was for better, move it forward. For worse, leave the baggage back in the back seat. People don't do that. What they tend to do is go, you know what? I'm not going to be doing. See Mario.
Because we deal with this, and we specifically
you celebrate your bachelorhood based on what you're saying. Here's the things that I don't have to deal with. That's not how we want to progress. We all know that we have that, but we want to progress going like this. Here's the things that I'm looking forward to that made me feel good at this time. Why can't I do that? And most people won't talk like that.
Well, you can, because I think by identifying it, you can set it as a goal.
Yeah.
See, even though I represent the typical dichotomy, right? Like I sound so hard on the one hand, but you hear me arguing for love and intimacy.
Yep.
That's because I'm acknowledging the pathway that I did that was incorrect.
Right.
I'm saying that's why we have to do this, because the kids, like they're going to be overwhelmed by sex.
Yes, it is.
And there needs to be more talk of love, relationships, intimacy, marriage.
Right.
More talk of that so we can get it, because we can't get it from our families because they ain't know how to do it. I remember one time I was saying to my family, because they were bugging me about one of my girlfriends, I said, if I wanted love and marriage advice, I go to people with a success record. Not a bunch of failures. My family made divorce an art form.
I'm not laughing at you.
I'm serious.
I know what he's saying.
I'm going to ask you, going to tell me what? Hell no. Keep your advice.
And I also think girls need to understand what love is and what love isn't. So if they're having sex too early, they're thinking they're in love.
Right.
So that is a huge problem.
And boys too.
Yeah.
In other words, to deal with the hormonal effects. I'm not saying that's the. I didn't deal with the issue of to have sex, not have sex.
Right.
I dealt with the issue of trying to mentally impact the youth,
right,
so that they will approach love and relationships in a way that's better than what we did.
Right.
And you want your boy to pick a woman that he's going to be happy with, right?
Right.
So this comes up, this manifests in different ways. You don't want your son to go out there and have a bunch of baby mamas because he's the pretty guy on the football team. Forget all that. That's not prideful today by any means.
No, and let's keep it in perspective, you guys. We're talking about America. Yeah. This is not across the board in other countries. We're the, let's just say it, considered the mightiest country with the most available to us, but struggling with individualism as it relates to the collective of a relationship. So if that's the case, maybe I love that 10-point question. What is love? I said,
and I don't know who does it better, by the way. I said, I don't have any examples. You know what?
You don't have to.
I wish I could point to some place and say, look at how they do it. But I really don't know that I have any examples.
You know what? I think the examples are right there around us. You have passion for things that you do, and you do it with reckless abandon, which means that you go, I'm going after it.
That's the way we do it.
And that's how we do it. And I sit there and laugh. I said, I know people who will easily say, I love you to their friends in a heartbeat, but struggle with somebody they're actually buck naked with.
The problem is, because there's some real concrete problems. Like, for example, you can end up like we do. Now, how many abortions you want the average teenager to average? Right. I mean, you want it to be that the average female in this country, by the time they hit 25, has had 5 abortions?
I know.
Or you want it to be 10?
Right.
See, so there are consequences of this, of all of this stuff, okay? Yeah. And it's not just the abortions in terms of the moral aspects. That has a mental, spiritual effect on a woman and even a man,
and who's
part of that when that occurs.
You've been afforded a blessing. We all have. Retrospect. When you're living in it, I see this part. Brandy,
that's the truth.
I'm gonna say this. I feel so bad. I mean, I'm serious. You can sit there in the moment you're going through what you're going when it's feeling good, whatever it is. If you're on a doctrine to get the man you want back in the day at your height. You're not even thinking of this. It's not even if somebody talks to you, they're philosophically talking to you in a way from what they've gone through.
That's
you
right.
can't transfer that.
No.
So to me, I think what the doctrine is that like any other time, people have gotten past that time and they've moved on. It takes one relationship of what you want to fulfill you. You can ignore all the numbers around you. Don't pay attention to the numbers.
And it's still in you, like Victor says, it's still in you. And you're looking pretty good today.
I know you won't make me change and all that. I'm ready for baby packs.
That's the only benefit. No, here's the benefits for me. I ain't gonna bug you. I'm gonna let you be you. I'm gonna pay most of the time.
Right.
It's just that you can't own the goose. See, it's the goose with the golden eggs.
Right.
I may give you a golden egg, but the goose is mine, motherfucker.
See, there we go.
Okay, the goose is mine.
No,
Okay.
Brandy.
I may
I
give
don't
you
want
an
your
egg.
goose.
You can be Brandy. What would you
It's
rather
my
have?
goddamn goose.
What would you rather have? Would you rather be like? Let's equate it to a Michelle Obama. Power, money, and you can actually dictate a lot of your social life, whether it's pre, post, during, or after presidency. Or would you want to have eternal blissful love with that one person who just makes you feel like you got butterflies going for the rest of your days into that external universe called the afterlife? Which one would you?
That's hard because eventually you'll get sick of all the blissful love and you'll want to go back to like your girlfriends or your, power and money and I don't know.
Well, you know what I would say, Brandy? I
That's
think,
hard.
because you're 37C, and even at that age now when you think about it, I think I pick for different reasons, and I think those choices work out better. And I must admit, I look for things that are naturally occurring companionship. In other words, some people make you feel like you need to hustle to keep them or do stuff to make them happy. And other people just make you feel special without you doing nothing.
Exactly.
Now that's a chemistry thing.
Yeah.
That's a chemistry. What I'm saying is the most important relationships in my whole life, I never did anything to earn them. They just happened. You meet, and then you can't help it. You feel each other. No one did any work.
Right.
It just happened. Now, everyone I had to chase down and impress, none of that worked out. So what I look at for now is I look at the intellectual, metaphysical things, spiritual, whatever you want, the chemistry aspects in terms of how you want to approach living. Because then you can have a chance of being together. But if they want to go off here,
Right.
and you want to go off here, then maybe you have to be friends. But you can learn to even respect that friendship and have a relationship. But theoretically, you look for someone where you could groove. Because don't you want to go do the journeys together? That's like me now, 56. When I have a relationship, I want to travel and explore certain aspects of the world together. Because that's part of the experience.
But see, Brandy's a power and money woman. Ooh.
Yeah, you kind of expensive. I tell me high maintenance.
No,
That's the word I say. You kind of high.
Kinda
high.
I want to walk in a room and, like you said, I need to feel special. Like that's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, I think we should all want that from the at least, and feel loved.
Yeah, I can guarantee you right
Right?
now. I'll say this, and somebody's going to say this. I said, you've had people in your lives who would do anything they can for you because they thought you were the world, and you passed them by.
That's
so
true.
that's the point.
That's true.
See, so when we get in here and start getting
That's true.
kind of, well, this person's not acting, I say, notice you picked the most difficult person, but here's 2 or 3 people going like this. Whatever you say, smile all the time. Be there at a drop of a dime, drop of a call. They will be at your beck, and you will go like this. I'm not feeling them. I said, they think of you as the world. How many of you guys passed that up?
No, I celebrate. Y'all have heard me on the show. If they were my woman and left me, they were wonderful, and they had a great sense of self-preservation. You have heard me celebrate them. They needed to leave. I would have left. They shouldn't have stayed. That's why I hold no grudge.
See?
That's why when they see me today, because I still love.
That's
I
right.
I know who I was. See, some of us not honest. If you want to ride this bull, come on.
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying.
You messed up on something.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I express love to all of them, because they were. I've had people be very good to me. I don't have any anger.
We know when we start counting.
Or hostility toward women. I don't have. No, as far as I know,
Well, you don't have
no
an
one's
ex-wife.
hating me.
Let's talk
And
about
they're not
exes.
hating me. Yeah, I got a lot of exes. They come by
No,
too.
but you don't have an ex-wife.
No.
Yes.
But they call themselves ex-wife. I got a couple that call themselves my ex-wife. And I gave them that title after they called self-anointed.
You're right.
I gonna, could humor them because that's what they want to be called.
Because I love
So
the
I go,
idea.
yeah, that's an honor.
I just love the idea how we assign the importance at the
Yeah.
time we're assigning it. I said, so if God is watching,
I didn't do
and
that.
he's going like this, he's saying, I sent you a couple of people and you just let them go by.
I told Lord I'm not deserving. I am not worthy, okay? I go, now I'm on that list. I'm just trying to be a better man, hoping I'm gonna figure it out in the next.
Right.
Because so far, what can I say?
That's why do I laugh? How many times have you been around people and they going, I'm not out there
guilty.
anymore. I'm really not trying to,
I'm
I'm
guilty.
trying to be more serious. That's it.
No.
So you're being more serious now. You're going to go choose somebody and make it work. And when they don't work out, you're going to choose the animal that's still in you. You're going to get pissed off. But the people that passed you by,
Vic,
because you let them pass you by.
It's actually like this. It actually works like this. You done so much dirt your whole damn life that when you finally meet something that looks good, you so scared shitless that you about to get the big payback. You scared. You like, Lord, okay, wait a minute, Lord.
I hope it works.
I know I couldn't be done with that list this soon. So this has got to be a trap. It's got to be a trap.
Handle it.
Because I can't have no good thing
gotta handle
coming.
it.
I don't deserve a good thing. I mean, there's times you feel like that when you start, you go introspectively, I deserve to get my ass kicked by life. So I'm scared shitless here. I don't know about
do
y'all.
not. I've already had my ass kicked by life, so I'm hopefully going uphill again.
Brandy's going, I paid my dues.
Well, Mac is reliving his.
I know, Mac. I can't even report true story. Once I met with a German woman whose father was Hitler in Hitler's inner circle. Some of the best loving I've ever had. Mac, you got to go somewhere else.